This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're reviewing the Hot Ones Season 27 lineup. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. This week, I thought we'd do something a little bit different, something that we discuss periodically on episodes, but we haven't really done an episode going through the lineup. The Hot Ones Season 27 lineup came out just a few weeks ago, and there's a couple interesting sauces on there that I thought would be worth discussing. So we're going to go through the Season 27 Hot Ones lineup. And now I saw the lineup. Mike, did you see anything from the lineup yet, or?
I did not. I've been intentionally blocking things on my social media because you
Yeah.
told me to. I don't want to ruin the episode, so I have not seen anything. Keep seeing like promo videos for it pop up, and I got a quick like,
Yeah, your
whoa,
algorithm is like trying to force feed. It's like, you like this stuff. It's like, get it out of my face. It's
yeah,
Bradley
yeah,
Cooper at the beginning of Hangover when the school kids try to talk to him. He's like, I don't know you. Go away. Um,
yeah.
so it's a good lineup. There's a couple interesting ones that I thought was a fun reason for us to discuss it, and so it's a little bit of a different episode. We've we've had a few uh, technical issues since our last recording. One of them being my laptop, the primary video recording and editing piece to the heat source, died. So there were some delays in some episodes. So if people are wondering, haven't heard, like there was a week where I think people might have been like, are they done? Are they around? We're still around,
Yeah.
just busy life on top of technical computer issues, which is never fun. So I've had a few sauce makers that we're going to be trying sauces for soon that I'm like, yes, that's still happening because nothing better than having a hot sauce maker that sends you sauce and then just doesn't hear from someone, like just sees that they don't do anything for a week, and it's like it was a long con just to get that one bottle of hot sauce from that specific sauce maker.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but all right, well, let's get into. Well, before we get into the lineup, there's a couple things I wanted to discuss. One of which I have a minor correction on a previous episode when we talked about Bush's baked beans, your favorite food, and the spokesman, other than the dog, Duke, the spokesman who was on it, I forget the name that you said, but it was like Pierre or something really not what you would have thought. The name is actually Jay Bush, the grandson of AJ Bush, the founder. But
That would make a
the
lot of
person
sense.
you saw is like a hockey player or hockey announcer that looks very similar to that guy. So the
Oh, is that
article
who
that
that
you
was?
found was, hey, this person, which is the name you found, looks very close to the Bush's uh, owner. So Jay Bush, much
Yeah.
more traditional, much more,
Jay Bush sounds a lot more like a guy that owns
yeah,
a bean
yeah,
company.
for sure. So I was when I was editing the episode and I was doing the clip about Bush's baked beans, about how I looked much like Jay Bush, um, and I'm like, well, this isn't the guy's name. So I'm like, oh, we got to do the correction here. So I know there's a lot of people clamoring for that correction on the Bush's baked bean content from the previous episode. Um,
It's the internet. Everyone's worried about
yeah,
the dog.
it's
As long as
we're
they get
just
the
stirring
dog
up
right, they're fine.
controversy. Yeah, Duke. Duke is the dog's name. Duke is accurate.
Yeah, we're really making
Yeah.
waves.
The second thing that I wanted to discuss, the second thing I wanted to discuss was, um, so Mason, my son, he has gotten into Minecraft. Now, it used to be that he just liked to talk about Minecraft and watch the videos, YouTube videos about Minecraft. But now he finally like we have the game on Nintendo Switch and he's been playing it or he wanted to play it, but it's there's a learning curve to it, especially for someone that's 7 years old. So the new thing
Mm-hmm.
now is I am now playing Minecraft because he wants to play Minecraft but doesn't know how. So the last 2 nights I've been up. I think last night I was up till 2 a.m. just building as much as I could to like set him up where I'm like, hey, here's like a house and it's got all these things. Like I built in the side of a cliff, I built like a 2-story house with like a hallway down this corridor that then leads to this bigger room and then a secret exit that goes to a watchtower. Like I've just been playing.
That is the worst excuse I've ever heard of. Like, oh, my kid's really into it, so I'm building him all
No,
this
but that's the
cool
thing. So like
stuff.
I was like, all right, well, let me like get this set up for you. And I didn't know how to play. Like never played before in my life. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like I got the gist of it. And then I'm like, all right, you want to do it? He's like, well, can you build a little bit for me? And so I'm like, well, if I'm gonna build something, I'm not gonna just like put a little log cabin and say, here you go.
Yeah,
So I've just been it just started where I'm like, all right, let me just like keep digging and like excavating. And then I'm like, oh, I got all this stuff. And then last night I'm just like,
you got to build a podcast studio in
I'll
there
build a
for him.
secret podcast studio that he doesn't know about. He's like, what's this? I'm like, don't worry about it. But because the first night I just built some stuff. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then he's like, can we get some more stuff? And I'm like, okay. So I'm sure he won't be impressed with what I built so far, but I was like, a watchtower would be cool, and one that like you can't when you look at it from the ground level, you're like, how do you get into this watchtower? And you don't realize that the entrance is actually underground in a secret bunker that the entrance to is like 200 feet away, 200 yards away. So
That's funny.
that's my new obsession is Minecraft, just to get Mason set up, and then once he's set up, I can be like, here you go, and I'm just gonna try to not like dwell on him destroying all the hard work that I did. But yeah, I've just been stockpiling stuff for him this whole time.
That's hilarious. I've never played it. I think my
So
maybe my nephew plays
it's a
it a little
fun
bit, but
game. He doesn't play with anybody right now. He's just on his own server playing, which for now is fine because he's still learning it. But in Minecraft, not a sponsor. I know they don't need our help with their they had the movie and all that, but um, it's I mean you excavate and then you take those resources and build whatever you want. And so the fun thing is like you don't a lot of games nowadays you have to like oh you have to pay for this extra stuff to get the cool abilities or whatever. This one, you dig up some dirt, you can build a dirt house. You uh, dig up some clay, you can make a clay house. Like if you take enough clay, you can make
hmm
bricks out of it, and now you have clay bricks instead of just like a clay. Like this, more resources you get, the stronger you can build it. So,
yeah,
and like there's a thing where it's like you can try
that's
to
cool.
make it more aesthetic, where it blends. Like this one, the entrance is all there is a stairwell to a door on the side of a cliff, and otherwise you don't know that there's a bunker in that area. So
Right.
it's just hidden. Um, but yeah,
That's cool.
so
I've always wanted to just dabble in it. It looks like those open world
I
games
did
look really
find
neat.
out from a friend at work that because we have it for Nintendo Switch, and the first article he found when he was looking at Minecraft was like Minecraft on Nintendo Switch is the worst. So I'm like, cool, okay, we've given him the worst version because I think PC is the way to go because there's a lot of point and click where you if you want to build in a certain way, you have to like hit the spot at a certain I don't know angle, and the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch controllers are probably the least sensitive to that, and like
Well, at least you're
yeah.
starting there. It's not like you started with whatever the good gaming system is and then
Yeah,
regressing
so
to
like
that.
if
So
he
you
ever
don't know the
gets like
difference. You would have had no idea
yeah, if he
unless he
ever gets
told
like
you.
really into it, it's like I need to step it up. It'll probably end up being a PC thing, and then he can go from
hmm
there. But yeah, so Minecraft not a sponsor, but um, it's taken a bit of my time. I'll have to. There's a thing where you can like grow. You can start gardening and grow your own like vegetables and whatnot. I'll have to see if there's a way to grow your own chili peppers. At least I'll have successful chili
Oh,
peppers
that's funny.
somewhere,
Yeah,
and I'll have it in like
have
the
like
shape of a
a
pepper.
Minecraft super hot
Yeah,
farm. That's funny.
it's like this isn't like this is just a Minecraft version of Pucker Pepper Company, which I sent you a picture yesterday. I did Ed Curry's unique garlic, which is a really hot garlicky Italian seasoning hot sauce. I did that on a pizza last night. That was so good. Um,
Yeah, that pizza looked amazing. Did you do that just in the
Yeah,
oven,
so
like
it was
broiler?
oven at 500 degrees. There is we have a pizza stone in the oven 24/7. It's just in there constantly because
Hmm.
it temp controls it, and the heat going up and down doesn't negatively affect it. Um, so
Yeah.
we have that. I do, just for ease of getting them in and out, I do use parchment, so I'll throw it on parchment and then slide it onto the pizza stone. But yeah, it was fresh dough from scratch that I made like 3 4 hours before, so I let it rise for a couple hours. Um, I wish it was a little crispier. The stone, I could have left it at 500 for like 20 minutes or so to really get the stone hot, but or I could have done like a cast iron,
Hmm.
like deep dish style, which would have been good. But
Yeah.
so we did that. Made the sauce from scratch, just plum tomato, salt, oregano, garlic, basil, just really simple ingredients, and that didn't cook the sauce. Just so it was like a raw tomato sauce on there, which I think
Right.
they said is like the New York
Yeah, that's
style.
my favorite kind.
I think that's what they said. But did that, took a package of like ground Italian sausage and just like pulled bits and put it on the cast iron and let it just like sear on different sides. So the sausage bits weren't like, if you get like a pack of like pizza sausage, it's usually like the little nubs or whatever.
Like the
Yeah,
perfectly
and so
round
I'm
little
like, no, no,
balls.
give me like the
Yeah.
textured. I like the pizza places where they put the
Yeah.
raw sausage on there and then it cooks on the pizza, but I didn't trust. That's, you need like an actual like uh, brick oven, like actual like intense heat.
Hmm.
So did that, threw some
Right.
pepperoni on there, threw some chili flake on there, threw some anchovy on a little bit of it, and then did that unique garlic, which it was luckily like the front of it was a little bit blocked, so it was giving me like little like 3 4 drops at a time, and I'm like, all right, good, like pepper it. So it was covered completely with it, but it wasn't smothered because that's a very hot sauce from Ed Curry, but I did that and I'm like, this is an amazing sauce pizza. This looks really good. And oh, and then fresh mozzarella or the like a brick mozzarella that I shredded, so that way it doesn't have the separation and it crisps up really good. Um,
Hmm.
but the the one thing that almost happened, Angela got home from work and I had made her, a pizza for her. I had like extra cheese pizza from the kids, made breadsticks, but she went for the one that I made, and I was like, well, that's really really spicy. Like, just wait a minute. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I didn't even tell her about the anchovies. That would have sent her over the edge. But
You should just let her go
I,
for it. She'll
it's
figure it out.
so the unique garlic. It's one where that amount of sauce that I put on there was like a really good burn for me. But I've learned from a few people. I had my uncle. I had him try the cayenne habanero from Hook and Arrow, which I love saying because it rhymes.
Hmm.
And he's like, this is probably above my heat tolerance. He's like, this is up there a bit. And I'm like, I guess that is like a hotter one for some people, but like that one to me is like a perfect heat, like perfect or
Yeah.
almost like a little bit step notch below on heat. So um, I have to be careful when it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and try it. It's a spicy pizza. And then she, you know,
Right.
especially after like a 13 14 hour shift, I don't need
Hmm.
her like the next morning waking up
No, it
with
looked really good.
stomach issues.
I have one of those Uni pizza ovens, and something that really surprised me. I've over the last couple of years learned a ton about
Hmm.
making pizza. You have to get that stone up to about 850, 900
Oh wow.
degrees in those Uni pizza ovens. Just those little
Yeah.
stainless steel ones get that hot. But that pizza is done in like 60
You
seconds.
said it's
It's
the
crazy.
Uni is the brand name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor,
Yeah.
but we would be a sponsor for them.
We would
Yeah, that
accept that
one.
one. I use that thing a lot. They look
Here's your 20
like they'd be
seconds.
a little
Here's
bit
your
of a
20
burden.
seconds of spokesman for Uni. Since you have one, I don't, so I can't speak on it.
Yeah. They look like they'd be a burden, but they're not. I don't even use like the gas attachment. If I had the gas attachment, I'd probably
Mhm.
use it even more. But just like the wood
Yeah,
chunks, like 20 minutes to preheat it, and then you can crank out two pizzas in 2 minutes,
nice.
and then that's dinner for
I've
the night.
done uh I've done on like the grill. I've thrown the pizza stone on there, or I've done like the the cast iron on there. But it is a bit more challenging, and my grill isn't like the best at like the temp control, just because for some reason anytime I grill it wants to be windy, and the wind just never helps that grill. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, if I ever did, there's my dad has always joked about the entrance where you come in for episodes. Um, he talked about like that little patio there, like extending it a little and making like a brick outdoor cooking area. I'm like, that would be really cool, but if I'm gonna do that, it's gonna have a pizza, like a some pizza set up in there. Even if we only make pizzas like a
Yeah.
couple times a year, it just aesthetically would look
Right.
better.
Yeah, they make like pre-made pizza kits where it's like if you wanted to add one to your
Oh
patio,
yeah,
you can buy like the brick assembly sets.
yeah.
And those
The
pizza ovens are
bigger
really cool.
issue,
I've used those before, and I did
yeah, the
landscaping.
bigger issue would be making sure to protect it in the winter because those are usually something you see like a really elaborate outdoor kitchen. You see it like a nice like California, Texas, like somewhere it's like, yeah, we'll get snow once a year, so you have to cover it then. For us, it's like, all right, well, if a snowdrift covers that entire thing, like what do I have to protect? What do I have to worry about? Um,
Yeah, you're not gonna find that
yeah,
until May.
it's like, well, I just if it just set a tube of heat through one of the brick lines that goes around the whole thing and just melts everything away, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the lineup. We don't have a sponsor this week, so we don't have to pause for the sponsor. If you do want a sponsor, let us know. I'm talking to Uni and anybody. But Hot Ones lineup. So season 27, they just announced it a couple weeks ago. There's some interesting ones on here. There's some return ones on there. My dogs are barking. They're excited. Um, which our youngest dog is now officially out of the cage when we're gone from home. So much less stressful for everybody. But all right, let's get into the first one. So the first sauce that was listed on the Hot Ones lineup is Shaquanda's Hot Tropic Hot Pepper Sauce. Now, this is a 3-time returning sauce company for Hot Ones. Um, this was one brand that Scott from Lucky Dog, he actually mentioned their brand as a sauce company that he really likes. And I have a bottle of Shaquanda's that's probably over a year old that I got when Scott mentioned that. I'm like, all right, let me get a bottle. And so I bought it and just haven't opened
Hmm.
it yet. But just to go through, I'll go through some of the key ingredients. I'm not going to go through the whole ingredient list for every sauce. Um, but it's got mango, papaya, orange juice, it has dried Kashmiri chili, some mustard seed, some ginger powder, clove, cardamom. Got a lot of interesting flavors to that. It's not just a
Yeah.
simple mango papaya hot sauce. It's got
Oh, that one sounds good. What was the heat level
so
on
that
that
one
one?
just lists a 1 out of 10. If I'm looking at, so I'm on the Hot Ones
Okay.
website or heatness.com's website that has the lineup, and they pretty much have sauces 1 through 9. They have a 1 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 on heat level. They kind of, you know, probably tweak it just a bit just to make sure it's all lined up like that. But then the 10th one, they have 11 out of 10 for the final sauce. So, but otherwise everything else is intact. They're excited. They're big Shaquanda fans. The dogs are big Shaquanda fans. But um, the so the next sauce in the lineup, this is a brand that we uh, we just tried recently. Seed Ranch. Seed Ranch has just wing in it, so they have their version of a chicken wing sauce. They were on season 11, and this is their second time being on the Hot Ones stage.
What one did we try
We
from them?
tried the. Oh man, do I still have it down here? I might still have it down here. Hold on.
I like the fact that you've just examined 360 degrees around you looking for a bottle of hot
Looking for
sauce.
the right bottle of hot
There's not
sauce.
like there's not a spot that it's in. It's just you're surrounded
Yeah.
by it.
Um, I don't remember offhand everything but the taco.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So, yeah. So we tried everything but the taco. We've got a few other sauces. I don't think the just winging it sauce is one that we have in our collection. I don't even know if they had that at the Tennessee show. What I've seen a lot recently, there's a trend, and we'll talk about a brand that did that later in this lineup. But I'm seeing a lot more sauce makers that will release a sauce for Hot Ones. I'd be curious to talk to one of them about kind of how that goes, because usually you hear like, "Hey, I made this sauce. It got in the hands of Noah Schomburg from Heatonist, or it got in the hands of the right person over at Hot Ones or First We Feast," and then they have to mass produce it. When it's a new flavor that hasn't come out yet, like, is that something where you have to already have kind of that relationship with them to be like, "Hey, I've got this new sauce coming. If you want it for your show, like, let's release it same time." Because
Yeah.
that's an interesting one to me. That's something I'm curious about. But yeah, so the Just Winging It, it has a vinegar blend that uses white vinegar, distilled vinegar, apple cider vinegar, dottle pepper mash for its heat. It's got carrot, red Savina pepper mash, little mustard powder, lemon juice concentrate. Just Winging It, they're the sauce company that it's all vegan. They do the plant based mac and cheese business as on the side there, which it sounds like it's taken off from some of the interviews I listened to. But Just Winging It, a classic wing sauce for the number 2 spot. And then we get
Nice.
into our first Hot Ones sauce. They have and this had me very intrigued, pickled garlic sriracha for a Hot Ones official sauce. So this is one of their brands.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that sounds good.
Jalapeno pepper mash, distilled vinegar, sugar, arrowroot powder, garlic, some key lime juice. So and then dill is the very last ingredient. So it's not a.
Oh, that key lime. That's
It
interesting.
is.
It's got a really unique taste that obviously everyone associates with pie. Like my wife bought key lime
Mhm.
juice one time, thinking it was just not thinking it was lime juice, accidentally bought that instead of just
Yeah,
regular lime juice. You couldn't really use it in a lot of things that you would
it's
normally for
distinct.
just regular
Yeah.
lime juice. Yeah.
No, that I'd be
Uh,
curious where that plays in with this. Now you've got a lot of you got a lot of vinegar and the dill and the jalapeno pepper mash, and so I'd be curious how much of it comes through. It's kind of down there on the ingredient list, so maybe it's not as forward. But key lime, it's not quite as powerful, overpowering as like a chipotle. But chipotle is another one where it's like you don't use chipotle unless you want to taste chipotle in whatever you're doing.
yeah.
I made a chipotle mustard. I used very little, and it was barely, like, almost too much. So,
Hmm.
um, so yeah, so Hot Ones, and Hot Ones always
Yeah.
has a couple sauces in the lineup, which um,
Did they get rid of their
I mean,
classic?
it's still for sale. It's just they don't have it in this lineup. It looks like
Gotcha.
they've got another one that looks like a newer one. Um, so the number 4, there's Alchemy Peppers. Alchemy Peppers Serrano Mango Hop Sauce, and this is a company that was on Hot Ones in season 21. So this is their second time on Hot Ones. Um, but this is serrano pepper, mango puree, apple cider vinegar, orange juice, apple juice, ghost pepper puree, lemon juice, garlic puree. A lot of purees, all purees. This is a baby. This is baby food. This is just give it to your baby. It's all mashed up, ready to go. Um, and hops is the last ingredient. So it does have hops in it, but it's that last ingredient on there. And we've had I think it was Red's hop sauce. We've had that, and we really
Yeah.
liked it. I know it's not one that's a guarantee for everyone. I think was that the one that I think you had Courtney try, and she was like, "Nah, like that's not."
Yeah. She was not the biggest fan of it, but that was definitely in like my Mount Rushmore of sauces
Yeah,
that surprised me.
that's uh. Anytime I see a sauce where someone's like, "Oh, can you believe this ingredient?" I'm like, "I'll try it," and someone asks me like, "Why would you try that sauce? That sounds so insane." I'm like, "Listen, the amount of sauces I've tried and have been overwhelmingly surprised by far outweighs the sauces that I've been like super hyped on and kind of like disappointed." Now I also
Yeah.
I'm not going to every sauce maker that's making it in their backyard. I'm going to shows, so like they're clearly got something figured out. But um, yeah, I won't say no to a sauce the first go around to at least try it, whether it's
Hmm.
something I think is going to be too hot or just a weird ingredient. I don't I don't think I have a specific food aversion that it's like if they say it's in ingredients in there that I'm gonna say no, I really don't want to. Um, but sometimes there are some weird ones where you're like, is that really gonna work? Like even like the more dessert, the chocolatey, the fruity sauces, where it's like, I don't know how this is gonna go. It's that
Right.
um, the mole sauce, that chocolate sauce that Lauren from Hot Graham Sauce Company gave us, Butch's. Um, that thing's fantastic. We had these little mini cheesecake cups that we had left over.
Oh, you put
Oh,
it on
threw
like
that
a
on there.
cheesecake.
Oh, it was so good. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, so alchemy peppers, another returning sauce. Number five is, I think number five is the first timer, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize that we did last season, or the last season of Hot Ones, we did a not ones list, and on not ones we picked Hook and Arrow, and who's in at number five? But a new
Hook and
sauce,
arrow.
they a spicier sauerkraut and mustard Hook and Arrow. So their sauerkraut and mustard sauce that they make, they have come out with a spicier version, and Hook and Arrow is in at the number five in their inaugural Hot One season.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good for
it was
you
awesome.
guys.
Like
That's a
they
good
had messaged
sauce.
us about like, hey, like we got some new stuff coming in, like just want to see if you'd be willing to try it. I'm like, yeah, and I was terrible at getting back to them. Like it's just been so busy, and then they're like, oh yeah, like we'll send you something. Like kind of cat's already out of the bag, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And I saw Hot Ones post, and I saw that, I mean that
Hmm.
distinct Hook and Arrow logo. Somebody was like, oh, it's not a lot going on in the logo. I'm like, no, it's simple, it's clear. I immediately saw it and was like, I know that brand, and so it
Right.
is a spicier version. We do have the bottles. I'll have to get you one. So we will be trying that sauce because I'm. I think uh, we liked the sauerkraut and mustard, but I think a more heat definitely is a welcome addition.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. That's like to this day one of my favorite like brat
You don't know,
sauces.
like I got this package before the holiday weekend, and we were grilling hot dogs and brats. You don't know how difficult it was for me. I was trying to justify. I'm like, if I open it, I'm like, we've already had the sauerkraut and mustard. I'm like, I could just open it, no big deal. But I waited. Um, but just to go through on their ingredient list, I'll just go through kind of with it being a spicier one, what the heat is on this. You have a jalapeno pepper mash. You have a green habanero pepper mash. You have um, a habanero pepper powder. So they got two mashes and a powder to kind of bring different attacks of heat to that. But
Hmm.
yeah, Sam and Henry from Hook and Arrow, spicier sauerkraut and mustard hot sauce. Again,
Sorry, what was the main pepper in there, or the main
so that
peppers?
jalapeno and habanero are the
Okay.
two main peppers. Habanero, green habanero pepper mash, and then a habanero pepper powder.
Gotcha.
Um, but and also there's the sauerkraut. Can't forget the sauerkraut. The but the first, hopefully the first of many per, sauce makers that we put on hot ones or not ones that made it. Now it was already in the works. I'm curious their reaction when it's like these guys are trying to blow our NDA about letting anybody know about this.
Yeah, that's so funny. No, they're sitting there watching. They're like, "Oh my God, Matt's come on, Matt, release the next lineup.
It's not the
We got to get
so
prepared for this."
it wasn't
They're
the
just
one that I
following your lead.
recommended though because I did the cayenne habanero. That was my like hey,
That would be a
but
good
I
one.
mean really any time we put a sauce on the not ones list, we're putting ones that we've tried, but it means that that brand is something that should be recognized. So, um, all right. So get on to number six here. Another hot sauce, tropical amarillo. Um, so this is another new one, I believe. I should have looked at the previous season to see if they had if these sauces from Hot Ones from Heatonist were there before. But this one, 6 out of 10 heat, yellow fatale pepper puree. You've got some yellow bell pepper. You got some Scotch bonnet puree, mango. Man, a lot of mango in the this season. Mango, pineapple, mustard, a little bit of Madra's curry powder. I almost said curry with a like a QU. Turmeric, toasted onion, cumin. There's a lot going on with that sauce. That'd be of the hot ones. brand sauces, that's probably the one based on the ingredient list that I'd be curious to try the most.
Yeah,
The
that one
name
sounds
of
good.
the pickled garlic sriracha one intrigued me more, but the ingredients on this one has me more intrigued. So, um,
Hmm.
number 7, we have Smokin' Ed Curry's brand with an apricot. So not apricot, but apricot. And that's vinegar, apricot, chili peppers, spices, lavender flavor concentrate. Interesting. And lemon peel and vanilla.
Did you say
Hmm.
lavender flavor? Ooh,
That's one.
like I don't
Yeah.
mind lavender, but it can be very
I don't have an
overwhelming.
aversion for those, but I will say like lavender and like rose, like those flavors aren't high on my list of like, ooh, I gotta get my hands on that. So this one with the
Yeah,
vinegar, the apricot, I mean, it sounds good from like it's got that fruitiness, you know, the lemon peel, the vanilla. It sounds. I'm curious how it is on the chicken wing, but I would be down to try it just from that flavor combination. But I think it would be more of a dessert sauce to me. But
sure.
um, yeah, smoking Ed. I don't know if I've ever seen s- smoking Eds on a season. I'm sure that they have. So I have my note right here. So Pucker Butt, his brand Pucker Butt has had season 9, 13, 17, and 19 have had sauces, but this one is the Smoke and Ed brand. So I don't know if they're trying to like differentiate those or
I guess
I
what's
don't
the
know.
difference? Same guy, two
Just
different companies.
different branding.
Hmm.
Trying to get his name and his face out there. I mean, Ed Curry is really struggling to get popularity out there. Not a really recognizable guy, you know. Hasn't really done anything with Guinness or Peppers or uh,
Yeah, like he'll ever get
yeah,
noticed.
yeah. Good luck. Hang in there. You'll make it.
Hang in there. We're like 3 years into this. Just the casual
Yeah.
hang in there. First time.
So the next one is probably the one sauce that you could guess without any help.
Da bomb.
Yep, the bomb.
Yeah. Still have to try it. Never tried
So
it.
there's the one that they have on the show, and then the one they send in their season lineups. I think is the all natural version because
Hmm.
the bottling is different. I have the because Angela got me. It would have been the season before Sam sauce, so probably like season 23 or 24. But she got me the lineup, so I have a Da Bomb sauce, but I'd like to try to find the one that they have on the show and then do a comparison. It sounds terrible. It would hurt. It'd be just the worst time ever. But just to see, is the heat different? Is it got more of a not chemical but extract kind of like feel to it?
Sure.
But that would be a good one to check out. But on the so I'm on the Hot Ones, the Heatiness website. So this one that they're listing is the one that's the all natural one in there. Um, that one it just says red hot chili peppers, and then it says spices, including paprika and turmeric, minced garlic, sugar, garlic powder, olive oil, garlic powder, lemon juice, cilantro, mint. I'm like, is it really just red hot chili peppers? Like
It doesn't sound like
no.
it'd be bad.
So
Like it doesn't sound like a sauce where I'm like, oh wow, let's go check that out. But it's like,
yeah,
yeah, like nothing in there's
no,
off
not at
putting.
all. So yeah, it'd be fun to do something with the bomb. Um, not a sponsor. I don't even know with the bomb, like it's. I know it's called the bomb, but I don't even know what the brand. I know I researched at one point, but I can't remember. It was hard to find who makes the sauce. It's not like a clear cut uh, brand. So
Hmm.
it's just it's the one sauce that just is. They say will never go away on that lineup, and impressively, it's number 8 this season because it's been number 9 at times.
Well, isn't it Insanity Sauce brand?
Is it? I don't know if it is. We'll have to look. We'll have to look, and we'll put a correction out there. Follow up episode. We'll make the comments. Um, number 9 is a return of a sauce brand that has been on the show 5 times previously, season 6, 8, 10, 14, 20. So big time hot sauce veteran. This one's Torchbearer Sucker Punch Hot Sauce. This one, the ingredient list does clearly lay out what you're in for. Onion, Reaper pepper mash, ghost pepper mash, sugar, lemon juice, minced onion, dragon's breath pepper powder, and salt. So like,
I've got a Scoville on that one. That one's 690,000. The bomb's
yeah,
135,000.
pretty significant jump up, and it makes perfect sense why Torchbearer is stepping up above the bomb on that lineup.
I forget if we've done any
We
Torchbearer
did do
sauce before.
a Torchbearer sauce. I thought it was like a horseradish one. I have a mini bottle set back here of like a 10 sauce. It might be 10 sauces, maybe 8 sauces. That at the hardware store they had these mini sampler bottles. That I'm like, we could almost do. I mean, Torchbearer has been around for a good amount of time. I mean, just from the Hot One seasons, you can see. But that would be an interesting one if we were just like, all right, let's just go through the lineup, just shooters, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
Torchbearer is getting a marathon episode. But yeah, so Torchbearer, really good sauce company. The first time I heard of Torchbearer was the Hot Sauce Summit, the one I went to. The previous summit, Torchbearer was the speaker, and I went back and I watched that, them as the keynote speaker at that summit, and it was really interesting. And that was the first time I had heard of them. So,
Gotcha.
and then the last one, number 10, second easiest one to figure out, the Last Dab Experience, Pepper X vinegar, Pepper X powder, Pepper X pepper distillate. That's the ingredient list. I didn't skip anything.
Sounds kind of
I mean,
gross.
if you
Coming in at 2.69 million Scoville,
yeah,
allegedly.
if you like the if you like the taste of Pepper X pepper, then there you go. That's all you're gonna get in vinegar.
So you got a Hot Ones lineup for Christmas like last year or maybe the year before. Did that have Pepper X in it? Have
No,
you
that was
tried it?
before Pepper X. I think that was
Okay.
the Apollo, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't have the Pepper X one in there. I've had some things with Pepper X at some of the hot sauce shows that I've been to, but I'd never had the Last Dab. I had other ones, and they were hot. Like I was at the Goat Fest when I went to Goat Fest in Kitchener, Ontario, hosted by Ginger Goat. That one, I had one of their Pepper X sauces, and it was one of them that I had to walk the lap to let it burn through. So like it did it did good work. it
Yeah, for
but
sure.
yeah, there's always been the controversy or the question of like how hot is it actually, and the breed of pepper and how hot that breed of pepper can actually get. But the sauce that I had was very hot, but it wasn't the Last Dab Experience one. So yeah, that's the lineup. So
Congrats to Hook and Arrow.
yeah,
That's
Hook and
exciting.
Arrow is, I think Hook and Arrow might be the only one that's a rookie on this one, because I think
It's cool to see because we pretty much saw those guys get
well,
born.
so they started their first big event was the Boston show that I went to, when we were just establishing. I mean, we're talking about like a
Right.
couple months into us just like starting to record. So that was their first big launch, and so we've seen that whole progression, and they've come out with new sauces. They've been getting into more stores. Now this Hot Ones, Hot Ones lineup, and I think they did after they did the announcement lineup for Hot Ones, they had, I don't know if they were influencers or they had some people like get to go and try the sauces, and one guy was just like with Hook and Arrow was like really good sauce, like said pointedly like this is a sauce that's really good, and I was like that's cool because sometimes in the interviews they glaze over the sauce way too much, where I'm like at least let them say like 2 words about it.
I feel like they used to talk
Well, because
about
that
it
was
more.
the thing with Lucky Dog is like, was it Trevor Noah, where he said like, oh, it dances on your tongue like Fred Astaire. That one clip, there you go. Put that on the sauce bottle. Like you're good. Um, just give like one, let them say one good thing and then be like, all right. Or not even a good thing, one reactionary thing. They might not like it. They might, I mean, Charlize Theron
Yeah, right.
giving the bird to, you know, the last, not the last dab, but the bomb. I still remember that. So like, I like some of the reaction to the sauces. Um, Now I haven't watched this season's first couple guests. I think they had Aaron Paul, and I think they've got Ana de Armas coming up this week because she's got that John Wick movie coming out. But
Okay.
yeah, have you seen any of the John Wicks?
I think I've seen 1 through 3. I don't think I've seen the fourth one, but so Courtney and I just found out we've been paying for
Mm,
Peacock. Even it's like I don't know, a couple bucks a month, so it's not like a
yeah,
huge deal. But apparently we've been paying for Peacock for years, and we just found it out like a couple weeks ago. And I was just perusing there, and I saw it's got all the John Wick, so I'm gonna have to run
yeah.
back through.
Peacocks.
I have a hard time with the first one though,
You have a hard time with the first one?
because they
Oh,
kill the
yeah.
dog. They kill the dog, and then it just pisses me off the rest of the day, even though he
That's
gets
the whole.
revenge.
That's the basis of everything. Everything started with that. Like even
Yeah,
like this movie that's coming out now, it's like, had that dog not perished, this franchise doesn't exist. John Wick's just like chilling at
there'd
home
be
with the dog.
5,000 people
Yeah,
still alive.
John Wick is just like driving a sports car, taking his dog for walks, you know, painting maybe. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what he would have done.
Hmm.
But instead, that the guns and gold that were in his basement would have stayed under the concrete, never would have been broken and pulled up. Um, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do in Mason's Minecraft house. I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff just under a level to where if it's like, oh, somebody messes with you, break the floor.
That'd be fun. You know what you should do? Like when he goes to bed, just go hide a bunch of things. Be like, all right, man, here's
Yeah,
a list. Like here, just make like a scavenger
I
hunt
could
for him.
do I could do that where it's like a scavenger hunt in, like, all right, just be digging around in like almost like pre-made caves to excavate. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fun game. I mean, I'm a bit hooked to it now, but um, no, it's a fun time. I I'll have to figure out some other. If anyone that's listening plays Minecraft, you'll have to send us a message or uh, send us a fan letter just to say anything that I should check out. I've just been watching YouTube videos of like what to do. It's like what's the essentials to do, and they're like, oh well, you need to build a garden. You need to get fences for cattle so you can start like getting cows and chickens and all that. And you need to build a fishing dock and get a fishing pole so you can start fishing off the river. And I'm like, it kind of sounds like just what Mike would want to do. Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
you're like, hey, I finally,
Just
yeah,
thinking how
it's
nice
like I'm
that
finally
sounds.
living my dream in a video game.
If you can do that in there, I might pick it up just
Well,
as a
that
side
was
hobby.
I don't know if you know who Jason Mantzoukas. He's a character actor. He's got like the big hair. He was Ravi. Was it Ravi in the League? He was the crazy one. Oh,
Never watched it.
but he's an older guy. Like I mean, our age or maybe like a little bit older. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I play Red Dead Redemption. He's like, I only fish. He's like, I don't do any other quests. I just fish. He's like, I've caught almost every fish that you can. He's like, I just fish all day. He's like, because I can, because that's the game that I want to play.
Yeah.
And that was something where I saw that and I was like, that's probably something Mike would do. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get really good at fishing in this game. Like when I can't reel
Yeah.
fish.
I used to play Oregon Trail 2 for PC, and that's all I do is get
Yeah,
in there and hunt. You know, there's not many people that have stacked 10,000 pounds of buffalo
it
in one
would
outing.
be. Here's a free idea out there because neither one of us are computer programmers, so we can't do it. You make an Oregon Trail game where each person is playing separately online. So like you're all in that you're all in the convoy, but then it's like, all right, you're the hunter. You're gonna go, all right, we need to go get meat. So you'll just like jump off and like, all right, I'm gonna go hunting. And you bring your stuff back. The other person, like each person has a task, and so you're doing these little side quest games, and then you're coming back and working collectively, and then eventually someone dies of dysentery. But it would be interesting if it was like a
Yeah.
multiplayer game, almost like an MMO RPG, but like you're working in these teams for the Oregon Trail. Because yeah, like for you, if
Hmm.
it's like I really don't want to play all this other crap, I just want to hunt. It's like perfect. You're a hunter. You're a hunter gatherer. You're just gonna bring us buffalo pelts, meats, rabbits. whatever you got. Yeah,
Sounds
see,
like fun.
that's a free game for. Who's Oregon Trail owned by? Is it Sierra, or is it a different brand now? Anyway,
I don't
free
know.
idea, but yeah, but that's the episode. I'm not sure we'll do this for every Hot Ones lineup, but it was something I thought was a special opportunity to recognize Hook and Arrow, who we've been following since they started. They've been big supporters of ours. Maybe at some point we'll get them on for an episode to talk about some of these things with like the Hot Ones experience and kind of see maybe once we get to the end of the lineup, see what some of their favorite guests were that tried the sauce, and we'll
Hmm.
you know try this have tried the sauce by then, so we can talk on it a little bit. But special thank you to them for sending us the bottles. Special thank you to Harold at flamerlame.pro, who is one of our Patreon supporters. If you're listening, however you listen, we do appreciate you. If you want to support the podcast and gain additional perks, please consider our Patreon. Whether you join or not, we appreciate you for listening. If you'd like to sponsor an episode, send us a message at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Heat Source Podcast for all updates. And tuning in next week when we continue trying new sauce. We've got a few sauces. You have a few jars at your house that are ready to be opened. So we'll see which one, which one we open up next.
Got a couple
So,
of them. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas present you finally received in
oh yeah, we
June.
didn't even talk about that. The the Christmas present of dude, that sauce looks really interesting. I I I followed the brand right after I looked at it. Is that something that we just want to crack open and try at some point, or
Yeah,
yeah,
probably should. I think it's like Barnacle
yeah?
Co or something, but it's a kelp based hot
Which I
sauce.
have no idea, good or bad, which way to go with that. So
I hope it's just really
yeah,
briny.
which I'd be fine with. Yeah.
It'd be
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
My
Can't wait to try a
Christmas
Christmas
present in
present.
June.
Glad I got it for you.
I like how you got it for me. Like I've been dying to open this. I'm like, one thing that would have been easy to to avoid being tempted, just give me my present. So, but all right, well, we'll see you.
Yep. See ya.